Hello everybody and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Mr. Fantastic from the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Mr. Fantastic displayed in the front window with his accessories and Build-A-Figure piece, and down at the bottom we do get the Fantastic Four logo. On the side we get some artwork there of Reed giving us his most critical thinking look he has, and that is going to be the same on both sides. On the back, we have a product shot of Reed giving us the biggest high five in the world, and then we have a quick read-up. Reed Richards is a brilliant scientist with the ability to stretch his body into any shape. Then we do have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure. At the bottom, we do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at Mr. Fantastic. And here is Mr. Fantastic outside of his packaging, and Hasbro using 3 out of 4 of the same body sculpts that they had with the Walgreens wave. So we had Thing and Invisible Woman that shared the same body sculpt, albeit Sue had those heels on. And then we do get the same body sculpt here with Mr. Fantastic, which is not to say that it's a bad body sculpt. This actually is a very fitting sculpt for Reed. He is a tall, lanky character who is quite trim. So being sort of a in-between, if you will, in a suited body and a pizza Spidey mold. You know, I think the pizza Spidey mold would work for this, but I kind of like having the fabric looking like it's loose on him and stuff like that, which we'll go into more detail here soon. We do get a new head sculpt compared to the Walgreens version, so we get the bearded Reed Richards, which is cool, but the accessories are a little lackluster. Unfortunately, we only get these sculpted hands that have these long fingers on it, which is a little disappointing. Now, inside the box, he does come with a pair of fisted hands, but the fact that it uses the same body sculpt means that the arms do come off on this figure just like they did on the other figure, so they could have done something. They didn't have to do the exact same stretchy arm thing that we had before, but I feel like they could have done something with the interchangeable arms still being a factor with this mold. So, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity. Now, when standing straight up, Reed is coming in at about 6 1/4 inches tall, which makes him 15.9 centimeters, and he's actually probably slightly taller than that. I just need to get a more accurate measurement or ruler, I guess. But it is still a very good-looking figure, and we'll kind of go over the sculpt there here in a moment. We already talked about his long fingers there, and the only other piece he comes with is the Build-A-Figure piece. So let's just go ahead and jump in and look at the sculpt and paintwork. And getting up close, we can see a pretty decent looking head sculpt, actually. It's not too bad there with the hair and the beard. It looks like, though, the face itself is the same as the Walgreens. We get the arched eyebrow there, although it is different because this one has the molded hair, and then this one has the glue-on hair that we've been seeing with more of the newer Marvel Legends. So, still very good looking. I like we get the classic Reed Richards trademark gray streaks there in the side, and they even added some gray into the beard, so that does look pretty good. And if you did want to, since there's no flesh tone on the body, you could swap out these head sculpts without any issue, and they wouldn't look too bad on each other. So, for example, if you did want a bearded Reed on the classic suit, there you go. There is a bearded Reed with the classic suit. That actually didn't look too bad. And if you prefer to have a non-bearded Reed, it goes down a little further. It's just really hard. But there you go, close enough. It'll fit. The neck looks long right now because I didn't push it on all the way because that head was really hard to take on and off, and I don't want to struggle on camera. So looking at the rest of the figure now, though, once we get focused in there, we can see pretty limited paint again, just like with Sue and Johnny. So we have just the blue lines there on the back. I did have a bit of a miss. Where is it? Right there, where the paint just didn't fully go along the side where the mold lines are. So that's a little disappointment. But let's see. Yeah, not bad. The 4 on this one looks pretty good. I'm actually content with that. There's a little bit of that smudge there. Actually, it looks like 2 or 3 smudges. But overall, the 4 logo came out looking really good. So that makes me happy. And then looking at the paint on the arms going down, same thing that we saw with Sue and Johnny. You get those notches on the knuckles, which the interesting thing is, so we have a black palm there, it looks like, and then the blue with those notches. But when they gave us the stretchy hands, it doesn't have any paint on it at all. So if you actually have a fisted hand and the stretchy hands, they're technically a little mismatched. I mean, you might not notice that, but still. Looking at that stretchy hand, though, we can see, I mean, it's just like the open hand gesture, and they just smushed the fingers and stretched them out. So it's nothing too crazy. The belt painted on there with the blue looks fine, and yeah, I mean, the rest of the paint looks good, and it looks like the cleats are going to be on all of the, well, not thing, but the other three did have the cleats there. And what I was talking about with the Sculpt, like the Pizza Spidey mold could have worked with this, but I do like this because this looks like a suit. You know, it's not skin tight. We actually see the lines of fabric throughout, and I think this feels better. You know, Reed's always been a scientist. You know, having him with a skin-tight suit, I think, wouldn't have looked right. This is a good choice. So I do like the mold. I just, like I said, wish we would have done something different because, again, those arms come off so easily that you could have done, I don't know, it wouldn't have had to been the exact same thing, but I feel like you could have done something. Anyway, looking at the articulation, you have a head that can go all the way around, bury his chin pretty far. He can look up quite far as well. His arms do come up a pretty fair amount, full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and then you do have rotation and hinge on all the hands. You do have an ab crunch that's not too shabby actually, and it can go back quite a ways. And the sculpting isn't too bad there. It looks like it actually kind of continues on. Do have a waist rotation, legs that can come apart that far, kick forward that far, backwards, not much, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. Then he does have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. So overall, I mean, it's not a bad figure. As I said, I like the sculpt work. I like the body mold that they use. It just feels a little lackluster that all we got are these stringy fingers for the accessory. You know, again, I figure it probably has something to do kind of like with Thing. We get a cheaper accessory and a build-a-figure piece than we get with the full stretchy bendy arms that we got with the Walgreens version. That's the only thing I can imagine is just the overall cost that it would have taken to pack something else in it. But it still would have been cool. I still think Hasbro should do like accessory packs. Like instead of finding a way, like the way they put Shadow King's head in with Professor X, what if they just did an accessory pack and you could eventually just buy, you know, for $20 all the things that would match different figures? I don't know. What do you think of that? That would be kind of cool, actually, now that I think of it. Anyway, as I said, that is it for this review. If you like this review, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my videos, and have a great day.